In this video, we're going to be solving a series of questions that are likely to come out in the JAMB examination, specifically on stress pattern. Now, this aspect of use of English is actually one of the parts of English that gives students serious problems in the JAMB examination. That is exactly why we're going to be tackling some exercises, and I'm going to be showing you guys the easiest method to arriving as the answer in your JAMB examination. Now, this is part 3. If you've not watched part 1 and part 2 of stress patterns likely JAMB examination questions, you might as well want to check out those videos on my playlist. Okay, now we're having question 1 on the board. Notice how I have written IENT, okay, which means all of these exercises, all of these likely JAMB examination questions on the board are words ending with IENT. That is, how do you stress words that ends with the what now? The phrase IENT, that is ent. Okay, now question 1, we're having recipient. So notice how the IENT appears in this particular word. Okay, option A, we have recipient. You can see RE is stressed. Option B, we have recipient. You can see CI is stressed. Option C, we have recipient. Okay, PIENT stressed. And option D, recipient, RECIPIENT, but RECI is stressed. How do you attempt a question like this? What is the trick? You don't have to start shouting in your JAMB examination hall. Okay, there's a trick to knowing the answers to these guys. Okay, now take note, whenever a word ends with IENT, to stress it, we must stress the syllable that comes before the IENT, that is the second to the last syllable. Here is a general formula to remember that. You can have any number of syllables, whether 1, 2, or 3, and then we'll have the stress part of the word, okay, and then we have IENT. That is simply how it works, okay, which means the stress must be the what now? The syllable before IENT. Now take a look at this word. We have where first syllable, C second syllable, and we have PIENT, the third syllable. That's what now? Pient. Now we are going to stress the syllable before the what now? The IENT. This P is not the syllable. In fact, we're even adding the P to the IENT. Okay, because this guy is ending with IENT does not mean we are going to consider IENT as the last syllable. No, there's a consonant that comes before it, so we must carry them together. Aside the fact that one of the rules of English states that if a consonant is left between two vowels, okay, in a word, it should go with the second one. That is the vowel that comes after it. That is why I'm putting this P with IENT, pient, and not the first I. Okay, so having what now? RE. But regardless, if you choose to put this P with the CI, it is still the same. Okay, we're not making use of what now? Breaking it down into its units. That is, we're not trying to look for its syllable, okay, or how many syllables it has. We're looking for what now? The stress part. So it does not matter if we are to stress this guy as, if we are to stress it as RE and then CIP and then IENT, it doesn't matter. Okay, what concerns us is the position of the stress. The position of the stress. If the stress is here, here, or here, whether we are putting this I to this place, as far as it is what now? Still working with the syllable. Okay, that is how it works. Now, recipients. What part of this word will be stressed? It will become the what now? The CI. Okay, that is recipient. What is the reason? C is the syllable that comes before what now? Pient. Okay, so the stress part of this guy is what now? C. That becomes what now? Recipient. That is how it is being what now? Pronounced or stressed. So which options carry CI stress? Obviously option B. Very, very easy. Okay, you simply have to know the rules that governs attempting questions like this. Okay, now next question on the board, we're having convenience. Notice how this particular word ends with IENT again. Okay, how do we stress convenience? Now to stress convenience, we follow the same pattern, okay, through the same procedure. Words ending with IENT, how do you stress them? You simply stress the word now, the second to the last syllable. Okay, we're having convenient. Okay, V comes before what now? Niet. Now let's go to the options and see which one has V as a stressed part. Okay, we have con, con is stressed. Okay, it is wrong because we said for a word that ends with INT, the second to the last syllable should be stressed. So this one is wrong. Okay, option A is wrong. Now how about option B? Convenient. V is stressed. This shows that what now? Option B is the correct answer. But let's go through the other options. Option C, we're having convenience, NIANT stress. This one is wrong. And then we have what now? Convenience. Notice how both V and nient, they are stressed. This is always something that you should keep at the back of your mind. Whenever you see a word that has two parts stressed, know that it's completely wrong. Okay, this is simply because only one part of a word should be stressed, only one syllable. This one having V, which is a syllable stress. We're having nient, which is another syllable stress, and it is what now? Wrong, because both parts are stressed. So if you see any option that carries two parts stress, remove it. Okay, it shows that it's already what now wrong. That's a bonus tip for you guys. Now, next one on the board, we're having proficient. You can try and attempt this particular one, proficient. Okay, let's see how you'll be following my exercises. So to stress proficient, how do you do it? Okay, option A, we're having proficient with PRO stressed. We're having proficient FI stressed. We're having proficient CIANT stressed. And we're having proficient and then PROFI stressed. Okay, you can pause the video to this question TV and attempt the question. Drop it in the comment section. Let's see how we are prepared for the JAMB examination this year. Once you are done with that, you can now play the video to see the right answer. Okay, I'm guessing you guys have done that. Let us now see the right answer to this particular guy on the board. Okay, proficient. Since it is ending with IENT, just like the previous questions we've attempted, okay, we are going to stress it the same way. That is, its stress will be on what now? FI. Okay, which means FI will be stressed. That is proficient. Why? FI is the second to the last what now? Syllable. Now, which option carries FI? That is option B. Again, option B is the right answer. Take note, as JAMB will not tell you these tricks, but they will give you questions like this to attempt in your JAMB examination. Okay, now on the next part of the board, we're having words ending with UM or IUM. Okay, words that end with UM or words that end with IUM. I'm putting them together because they are stressed the same way. Okay, example on the board, we have equilibrium. How do you stress the word equilibrium? Okay, now we're having various options. We're having equilibrium is stressed. Option B, equilibrium QUI stressed. Option C, equilibrium LI stressed. Option D, equilibrium BRIUM stressed. What do you think will be the answer? Just like this guy, they actually follow the same rule. Okay, so the stress pattern or the formula for stressing this guy is to stress the second to the last syllable again. Okay, so for this particular word equilibrium, we're still going to stress the word now, the second to the last syllable. So this is also the same formula. We can follow the same pattern as the formula. So instead of writing it again, you can just take this one. Okay, only that is going to end with what now? UM or IUM. Or let me just write it here. We're having any syllable that can come first, and then we're having the stress, and then plus IUM or UM. Okay, this is the formula. Take notes. Okay, we are going to stress the second to the last word now, syllable. Now in this case, what is second to the last syllable? We have equilibrium. BRIUM is the last syllable. So which one comes before? LI, right? So you have what now? Equilibrium. So LI is stressed. Which option carries LI as the stress part? We're having option C. Okay, equilibrium LI is stressed. Very, very easy. You see, knowing stress pattern and scoring high in the JAMB examination is actually very easy. All you simply have to do is understand the concepts, understand the rules and laws that govern use of English language. Okay, now the next question on the board, we have memorandum. Notice how in this case we're having a word that ends with UM, just like I said. This one ends with IUM. How about UM? I just said the rules are the same. Okay, all you simply have to do is stress the syllable before the last. Okay, that is the second to the last syllable. So for memorandum, we're having memorandum. Okay, memorandum. RAN is stressed. Okay, that is the stress part. That is, we lay emphasis on the RAN. Okay, so having memorandum, ME stressed. This one is wrong. Why? ME stressed. Option B, we're having memorandum, MO is stressed. Also wrong. Option C, memorandum, RAN is stressed. Okay, that shows option C is the answer because they are stressing the second to the last syllable. And option D, memorandum, DUM is stressed. Okay, we're not stressing the last syllable in this case. So option D, option B, and option A, they are all wrong, leaving us to the correct answer of what now? Option C. Very, very easy. Now, the next question on the board reads symposium. Okay, symposium. How do you stress symposium? Notice that symposium is ending with IUM again. The rule is if a word ends with IUM or UM, we are going to stress the second to the last syllable. Okay, we are going to stress what now? The second to the last syllable. So in this case, what are we going to stress? We are going to stress what now? Symposium. Okay, PO. Okay, emphasis should be laid on PO. Okay, so you have symposium. Okay, PO is stressed. Which option has PO stressed? Obviously option B. So you go straight to picking the answer. Very, very easy. This is how you should be answering questions on your JAMB examination. Simply because you have practiced multiple problems with me and you know how to attempt and answer these questions. Okay, so we have what now? Symposium. PO is what? Stressed. Let's take a look at the next set of questions on the board. We're having IOUS, we're having EOUS, we're having OUS, and we're having UAL. Okay, all of these options, or all of these questions rather, they carry words that end with all of these guys respectively. Okay, now what I'm trying to say is all of these ones should go together. Whenever you see a word that ends with ious, eous, ous, or ual, you should stress them the same way. That is exactly why I am putting them together. Same thing as this one on the board. Okay, now for words that end with any of these, what is the rule? The rule is saying we have to stress the syllable that is the second to the last. So you notice how it is same as this guy here and this guy here. We all have to stress what now? The syllable that comes before the last one. Okay, now let's look at the first one on the board. We're having industrious. Remember, we have solved a question on industrial. How do you stress industrial? For those persons that watch my part 1 and part 2 videos, you should be able to stress the word industrial. That is words ending with ial. Remember the trick. Okay, if you've watched those one, kudos to you. I'm sure you should be able to stress industrial. Now, how about industrials? The rule is saying to stress words ending with ious, we have to pick the syllable before the last. So we have in first syllable, does second syllable, and we have what now? Trust. Okay, actually similar with industrial, because industrial is also stressed in dos. Okay, the second to the last syllable, the rule is not so different. Okay, so we have industrious, so we are going to stress what now? Dos, that's dus. Emphasis will be laid on dus. Which option carries dus stress? Option B. We're having what now? Industrious. Very, very easy to understand. Okay, now next question on the board, we're having extraneous. This is how in this case we're not having ious, but rather we're having eous. So for words ending with eous, how do you stress them? Same way, okay, in same manner. We're going to stress the syllable before the last. That is what now? Tre. Okay, we have extraneous. Okay, emphasis will be laid on what now? tra. So for this one, option B is also the answer. Okay, now what about the next one on the board? We're having continuous, words ending with uous. Take note, these are just examples I'm giving. There are more words ending with uous, eous, or ious. Okay, now you can choose to make use of any example you want. So even if you don't come across this particular one in your JAMB examination, okay, you could come across another word that ends with what now? Ous. Okay, now in this case, what is our answer? The rule remains the same. We're going to stress the syllable before the last. So we have continuous. Continuous. Ti stress. Which option carries ti as the stress one? Option B. Why is option B just the answer? Okay, why is option B majority of the answer? Doesn't really matter. Maybe I might have switched one or two. Okay, but take note, our answer being option B in majority of the question does not mean you should start picking B only in your JAMB examination, as answers could vary. Okay, don't think because option B is mostly the answer on this one I'm solving on the board, you go into your JAMB examination, any option you see, okay, in stress pattern, you should just pick option B as the answer. It is wrong. Okay, don't do that in your JAMB examination. Now the next question on the board, or the last one, we're having unusual. Okay, now we're having the word ending with ual. The rule says if a word ends with ual, we should stress the word now, the second to the last syllable. So we're having on, that's the first syllable, you, that's second syllable. Okay, and joie. Now what's second to the last syllable? You. So you should be stressed. So we're having what now? Option A, unusual, un is stressed. Option A is wrong. Option B, unusual, u is stressed. Okay, so option B is the correct one. Notice how option C and D are also wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't end here. There's always more to learn. Okay, now this is just stress pattern, and this is actually part 3 of our videos of JAMB likely examination questions on stress pattern that you are going to encounter in your JAMB examination hall this year. You can always learn more by subscribing to this YouTube channel, Dr. Flash. So smash the subscribe button right away, and also click on your notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you'll be one of the first persons that will get notified about it. If you need to learn more, you can always register for our online JAMB and wire classes as well. To register for the class, all you simply have to do is go down to my YouTube page and then click on the link on my bio. Click on the one that takes you directly to my WhatsApp DM. Okay, send me a message on WhatsApp and let me know that you want to be registered for our online class for JAMB. I'll put it through on how to register for it. If you have any more questions, feel free, drop it in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video, share with your friends, and also anticipate the next part, which is part 4 of stress pattern, just so you can complete the whole question on stress pattern that you're going to encounter in your JAMB examination hall this year. So see you in the next video.